Something insane happened in last night's Warriors game that will change the course of NBA history. Steph Curry hit a major career scoring milestone, putting him in elite company. And in today's video, I'll break down exactly how and when Steph will crack the top 10 all-time scoring list, the implications it'll have on the rest of Curry's career, and why he has now cemented himself in the GOAT conversation. Let me take you on a deep dive and I'll share with you the shocking numbers I found. But before we get to that, hit subscribe right now if you want to be in the know with all the latest Warriors news, analysis, and commentary from all of us at Warriors Digest. Less than 30% of you watching right now are subscribed. What are you doing? If you want to be the first to know, hit subscribe right now. We're about 400 away from hitting that 10,000 subscriber mark. So thank you to everyone who's been here along the journey. All right, let's get into it here. So here's the situation as it stands. Last night, Steph Curry crossed the 25,000 point mark for his career during that huge win against the Pistons at Chase Center. So electric, so many big moments. I mean, Dre hitting that three, the energy from Guy Santos, the showdown between Isaiah Spenser and Steph. But the big moment, Steph hitting that three that crossed the 25,000 point mark for his career. And that's huge. But to crack the NBA's top 10 scoring list, he's got some legends ahead of him. Now, right now, Steph, he sits around 26th all time. He's got Jerry West ahead of him, a number of legends, Reggie Miller, Alex English, Vince Carter, Russell Westbrook, who, of course, is still playing, Kevin Garnett, John Havlicek. But here, I'm going to show you exactly why he is about to get into rarefied territory here. Now, Steph's about 3,000 points shy of that 10th spot. And based on his current scoring pace, around 25 points per game this season, he's got more than enough time to close the gap. But how realistic is it for him to maintain this pace? Well, let's break it down. Of course, we know Steph turns 37 in a few days, March 12th to be exact. And of course, historically, superstar guards, they start to really slow down during this age. But here's why Steph is different. Of course, he's not banging inside or relying on pure athleticism. He's shooting from distance. He's moving without the ball. And his elite condition, is allowing him to continue scoring without taking a physical beating that a lot of stars are enduring. Of course, he still doesn't get the foul calls, and, he's the fastest person to reach 25,000 points with the fewest free throws. We all know historically the free throw issues with Steph getting to the line, which just makes all this even more impressive. He's getting this by scoring from deep here and not getting a ton of points at the charity stripe. But, let's take a look at some of the greats ahead of Steph on the list and how they did scoring-wise after their age 35 years. So take Reggie Miller, for example, another legendary shooter, not at Steph's caliber, of course, but, at age 38 and 39, he's still putting up double-digit scoring numbers easily, averaging nearly 15 points per game late into his career. Ray Allen, we saw, he had a similar path. He was still hitting big threes late into his 30s, playing a critical role on those championship teams in Boston. Steph is way more dynamic and efficient than those guys ever were. So aging has been and will continue to be a lot friendlier to Steph. And let's talk about that legendary efficiency. Steph is shooting, as you can see in this graph here, above 40% from beyond three throughout his entire career. And this is the projection on how that starts to decline over age. And even though it dips slightly, his shot is not going to disappear overnight. Historically, of course, we see elite shooters like Kyle Korver, Steve Nash, they keep their three-point percentages high well into their 30s. This leads us to believe, and just watching Steph and the way he plays throughout his career, he's not going to see a dramatic drop. The decline is going to be gradual. And this is the math that I did in the charts here showing the projections into the age 40. He's still going to be basically hitting around the same clip here. It's not a dramatic drop. But the biggest factor, of course, is going to be Steph's health. He missed a ton of games early in his career because of that consistent ankle problem, basically threw away, his third year in the NBA. And then, of course, 2019, 2020 season, he only played 5 games. So that contributed dramatically to him not being at a higher scoring pace already. Given that, Steph's still averaging around 63 games a season. So let's be conservative and say he continues to miss about 15 to 20 games per season. as you can see, again, using the math, using historical data here, we can see that Steph's scoring is projected to decline here. He's going to score about 1,700 points this year, but if he maintains his current pace, his current efficiency, he still should be able to score at a dramatic pace well into the next 3 years here. And, this is going to put Steph comfortably on track to surpass players like Jerry West easily by, probably this season. Reggie Miller, he should be able to move up into his spot this season. We could be talking about by early next year, he's getting into the 20th spot, passing Kevin Garnett. And then if you look 2-3 years from now, where is that? We're looking at Paul Pierce. These are all guys who he could be in 15th place by next year, surpassing Oscar Robertson if he continues at this clip. And then when you compare him to legends ahead of him, like, I know he played a very different style, but look at Karl Malone. At age 39, he still averaged 20 points per game, and he still played over 80 games. Obviously, very different player, playing on the low post, playing in a different generation of basketball when it was much more physical. Totally different guy. But let's compare him to the current GOAT, Michael Jordan. After he came out of retirement at age 38 and 39, he was still putting up about 20 points per game, despite being away for all those years when he was playing baseball. Now, Curry doesn't need Malone's Iron Man durability, but he's certainly capable of matching Jordan's late career averages given his style of play. And even in a conservative scenario, Steph will hit around 28,000 points around the 2026-2027 season when his current contract is up, which already places him in or very close to the top 10 all time. So if he continues to play past them by age 40, Curry's total could easily reach around 30,000 points, firmly placing him in that top 10 spot. And then, if you just look at it from there, is there an outside shot of him cracking into the top 5? I'm going to say no, because I think that Durant is going to push in there and he's going to alter this list a lot. But I'm saying it here, Steph will be a top 10 scorer of all time by the time it's all said and done, because we all know Steph's style of play is built to last. Steph's game doesn't rely on physical explosiveness. His scoring relies on finesse, range, movement. These are all factors that age extremely well. And Curry's training routine and regimen, his diet, it's all meticulously managed. He's up there, similar to like Tom Brady, LeBron James. Now, Steph's not using HGH like LeBron is, but that's a story for a different day. But the bottom line here is clear. Curry's skill set, historical context, and style of play make a case overwhelming that he's going to become a top 10 scorer in NBA history by age 40. Now, a lot of this predicated on him getting another contract after this current one runs out with the Warriors. Is he going to stay a Warrior for life? We all want to see that. We all want to see him climb the ranks here in a Warriors uniform. But even if he doesn't, we've seen guys, bounce around the NBA at the end of their career like Vince Carter. I don't think that that's going to happen with Steph. I say he does it here, but he is going to play well past 40, and he should have a shot of flirting with that exclusive 30,000 point club, joining basketball immortality. We're witnessing history in real time, not only in the long-term trajectory of things, but we're witnessing it right now as the Warriors are fighting tooth and nail to climb up the ranks here in the playoff standings so that they can get that 5th ring for Curry. Now, when you take all of this into account, I make the case Curry will firmly be entrenched as a top 5 player of all time when it's all said and done. He will be up there in the conversation of GOATs. And I know it's a hot topic right now with Shaq, who has started to, build the buzz, saying that he believes that Curry needs to be considered in the GOAT conversation. I think that the time has come here as we watch Curry continue to chip away at these milestones. He's only a few threes away from hitting 4,000 threes for his career, like 1,500 more than anybody else in history. It has been a wild career. Curry is a GOAT. Thanks for watching Warriors Digest. Hit like and subscribe. And in the comment section, tell me right now, where do you think Curry ends up on the all-time scoring list? We'll talk to you tomorrow after what will hopefully be another win against the Portland Trail Blazers. Peace.